very dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the pilgrims were good to Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this, I want you to read, the California legislator passed what was called the Mulford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Amen, somebody. Thank you, Jesus. 90.7 WTCC. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Spoken Word. I'm your host, Bishop Talbert Swan II. And as usual, we'll be telling it like it is through cultural idioms and nuances that shape the order, ethos, and chaos of the African American experience. Words have their own vitality, they shape their own consciousness and create their own context for interpreting social and spiritual reality. The spoken word contains the power to reshape the landscape of society. 4 minutes past the hour of 9 a.m. I want to thank Mr. Kenneth Barnett for bringing us up until the 9 o'clock hour with The Promise. You can hear The Promise every Monday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., bringing you the best in gospel music. A good way to start out your Monday morning. Great way to start out your week. Well, good to be back with you. I wasn't with you last week. I was away attending the annual conference of the Conference of National Black Churches in Orlando, and then attending the homegoing celebration for dear friend, the Bishop Derek W. Hutchins, as well, and got back late Saturday and went to church Sunday, and I'm here on Monday. So it's good to be back with you, and we're going to catch up on some stuff today. I want to know why white America isn't happy about Brittany Griner coming home. What the problem is, and then I want to talk on a very serious note about the rising numbers of Black male suicide. That conversation has been reinvigorated because of the death of Twitch. And you've seen that conversation happening all across every news cycle and every social media platform. And we'll talk a little bit about that as well. 413-736-2781. I got to get used to saying that number again. I've been saying a different number for 2.5 years. Thought I did pretty good today, but I'm not giving you the wrong number. 413-736-2781 is the number here. If you're in the Twitter space, I see the requests coming up already. Just put your requests in. We're going to plug in and get our Instagrammers on momentarily. But welcome to Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, who are already up and in the space. And for those of you in the Pioneer Valley, welcome to each and every one of you. Tell a friend, tell somebody Bishop is on the air right now. Do me a favor, rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Love to see where you. I already see Maryland is up in the building, is in the house. I see Chicago is in the house. So do me a favor, rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. We're going to have a good conversation today. So tell your friends, tell everybody we're on the air. Let me give you some, as I always do. I always want to give you a little bit of Ferris Hill to encourage you. Don't stop. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. The being in the road will be the end of the road if you refuse to change. Reach a little higher, reach a little higher, dig a little deeper, dig a little deeper, go a little further, go a little further. Is that the three formats that you're on right there? Come on, yeah. Are those the three formats that you're on right there? Go a little further, go a little further. Come on, don't stop. They can hear. You know, that's that platform allows me to stream out to various platforms at the same time. If you refuse to
change.
You just select
Your
where
life
you
will
want to
never
go.
change until you
I'm
get
on
disgusted
YouTube,
with where you are.
Twitter, and
Whatever you
Facebook
don't
on that.
hate
Only thing
is
I
what you
can't do
tolerate.
is Instagram.
You must learn from the past,
So I just
plan
gotta
for
do
the
that
future,
separately.
and live for the
Everything
present.
else is
What is your daily routine that determines your success or failure in life? It's the choices that you have made up until this point.
I'm playing it from
the rest of your life. So
computer.
break the cycle that doing enough is simply good enough. You only get out what you put in, so don't settle for the crumbs when you can have a whole loaf. So push yourself.
Yeah, I play it through
Come on.
Spotify.
They made a poster plug right there.
Don't stop. Come on. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. So you gotta break the routine of trying to beat the system. Manipulators will always try to bypass the process for the quick progress. There are no shortcuts to success. There are no elevators to the top.
Unless you want to get the
step
ad-free version.
You got to break the routine of allowing others to get into your head and control who you are and where you're going. You see, when you're about the positive, you're going to always have haters. But don't let your haters push you down. Let your haters push you forward to
On
the
your
next level.
Facebook,
So
whatever
when people
social
show
media
you who
you
they
use.
really are, don't perceive them to be something else that they're not. See, a zebra does not change his stripes. So you got to keep pushing yourself to the next level. Yeah, there you go. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Go a little further. Go a little further. Come on. Don't stop. Come on. Yeah. Reach a little higher. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Go a little further. Come on. Come on. Come on. You got to understand the greatness is the nature that you were born out of. You'll never discover your greatness without hard work and dedication. Greatness says more about who you are and what you expect for yourself. And greatness will always attract greatness. Show me your friends and I'll show you the future. The future. You're just a step away. You're just a step away. You're just a step away. Don't ever give up. Come on. You're just a step away. You're almost there.
I take care.
You got to push yourself beyond your limitations. You see, there's no mountain too high, no valley too low. You can go where you want to go. It's all in the power of your imagination. If you can see the invisible, you can do the impossible. So stretch yourself. Take yourself to the next level. Come on, come on, come on. Reach a little higher. Get a little deeper. Go a little further. Come on, come on, come on. Don't stop. Come on. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Come on. Blessings are coming your way. Go a little further. Don't stop. Don't stop until you get your dream. Don't stop. Get your dream. Until you get your dream. Come on. Don't stop until you get your dream. Don't stop. Get your dream. Come on. Yeah. Don't stop. Come on. Come on. Come on. Go further, go. Come on. You gotta go for the goal. You gotta go for the goal. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Don't stop. Don't stop. Yeah. What you making it here, you gonna make it.
I look in the mirror and I like what I see. A strong, beautiful black woman staring back at me. One who's seen a lot of pain and had her share of sorrow, but who never gave up hope for a brighter tomorrow. I've been lied to, cheated on, stolen from and hit. But it just made me stronger, and I refused to quit. That's right. And though I've been tempted, I refused to stoop to their level. Don't go down. I rose above that nonsense and made a liar of the devil. All right now. The devil who said I wasn't good enough, cute enough, or worthy of love, I kicked his butt with divine power from above. Power that says I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me and brought me out of darkness so that I could see that I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm a child of the King. Abundant love from me he came to bring. Oh yes, when I look in the mirror, I love what I see. That strong, beautiful black woman, that woman is me.
90.7 WTCC. Good morning, everybody in the Pioneer Valley, everybody beyond, everybody who's on social media, everybody who is anybody. Good morning to you, ma'am. Good morning to you, sir. Good to see you all here. Rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Hey, baby girl. I see my baby girl from Chicago, Enfield, Connecticut, up in the building. Yes. Somebody telling me my mic is open. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. H-Town. H-Town is in the house. Who else is up in her? Y'all saying, Bishop, you sound kind of excited. Yeah, I'm just glad to be back with you guys, you know. Listen, Justice and Flow is going to have a reboot. Since I'm back in the studio, it was so easy and smooth to just transition right into it when I was broadcasting from the man cave. But now that I'm back in the studio, it makes the transition a little more difficult because I got to get out of the way for the next announcer to come in and all that. So we're going to be relaunching and doing it on a different day as its own standalone podcast. So stay tuned. It's hot in this studio, man. So stay tuned for information on the reboot of Justice and Flow in 2023. Hartford, Connecticut, I see you in the building. Springdale, Maryland, I see you up in the house. Rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Let me see who's over here on the gram. What city and town is coming through on the gram? Come through, Gram. Come through. Where y'all coming in from? I got New York in the house. I got Indianapolis up in the building. Let's see. H-Town, Virginia up in here. Keep repping your city. Keep repping your town. Don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of where you come from now. Let me adjust the grammars here. Yeah, there. That's a little better. All right. Let's get into our convo. 413-736-2781 is the telephone number for those who want to chime in on the conversation today. So, you know, a lot, when I'm gone, I got to play catch up when I come back. And I know I might have missed some news cycles because, you know, that's the way it goes. You know, normally it is a 48-hour news cycle. And sometimes I miss it if I'm traveling. But I do want to come in and give you my 2 cents on it. So when Brittany Griner was released, what's up, Michigan? Jacksonville, Florida. Peace and blessings. Absolutely. There to support Bishop Hutchins all day long. So when Brittany Griner was released, not everybody was happy. There was a whole lot of hateration, that was going on. And y'all excuse me, those of you who can see me. Those of you who can't see me, you don't see what I'm doing. But those who can see me over the internet, y'all see me pulling off my sweatshirt because it's hot up in here. And and I need to be comfortable as I'm talking to you. All right. So let me just do this, and there y'all get to see my inkwell. Yeah, my hair, all right, now maybe I'll stop sweating so much. So not everybody was happy about Brittany Griner. Somebody, okay, I'm gonna have to do something about that. And most of the folks that weren't happy about it, was the melanemic people. And my question is, why y'all not happy the sister came home? Y'all always talked all this junk about Russia, but then when the sister comes home, y'all got a problem with it. I'm trying to figure that one out. And the hypocrisy in all of that is that, they're saying, well, why did they bring Paul Whelan, the Marine, home? Now the craziness is Russia offered to make a trade for the same arms dealer that America let go back to Russia. They were going to trade him for Paul Whelan. Russia offered that. And guess what? Donald Trump refused it. Okay? Now this is what you have to understand about caucasity, the audacity of Caucasian people. When Paul Whelan was arrested in 2018, Trump was president. When Russia wanted to negotiate giving back Paul Whelan in exchange for the arms dealer, Trump was president. The president that rejected that deal was Trump. And Trump never said anything about Paul Whelan for the remaining 2 years that he was in office. And all of the Donald Trump supporters said nothing about Paul Whelan for the 2 years that Trump was still in office. All of a sudden now they're saying Biden should have traded the arms dealer for Paul Whelan, the very deal that Trump rejected, instead of the black woman. This is the hypocrisy of Caucasian Americans. This is the hypocrisy. When your guy was in office, you were cool with letting Paul Whelan rot in a Russian jail because Trump made the decision to leave him there. But now that America traded the arms dealer for a black woman, you're mad that it wasn't the guy that your man left over there. Y'all shut up. Y'all just shut up, okay? Just be quiet. Just be quiet. Because this ain't got nothing to do with Paul Whelan, because y'all proved you didn't give a hamburger about Paul Whelan when the 2 years that your boy was in office, you said nothing about him. You never criticized him for leaving him over there. Now, 2 years later, y'all so concerned that the Marine didn't get negotiated for. Shut up. That has nothing to do. Yeah, that's exactly. There's some on Instagram saying they didn't know that. Yes, go look it up. Go look it up. Trump rejected the deal for the same arms dealer. The same arms dealer they say that Biden should have traded for Paul Whelan. Trump wouldn't trade for Paul Whelan. We have short memories. I mean, and caucasity is like they don't even care. They don't even care about the facts. I'm just going to be blatantly hypocritical right in your face and not even care. I'm going to say it has nothing to do with her being black. It has nothing to do with her being homosexual. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with we should have brought home an American Marine. The same Marine that I was okay about Donald Trump leaving to rot in jail. I mean, their hypocrisy knows no bounds. No bounds. And then the other thing is, Paul Whelan is in jail for espionage. He's accused of being a spy. And y'all act like America ain't got no spies. Stop playing with me. Brittany Griner was doing 9 years in a penal colony for vaping. Vaping. She had a vape canister with some cannabis oil. Okay? Let's not act like she was over there, for some heinous crime where she deserved to do 9 years in prison. All right? Jaw's okay with her staying over there. And so they all jumped on the bandwagon. They all, and it's not just your regular hillbilly Trump supporters. You got congressmen, politicians, and mayors and stuff that are out here complaining that this black woman came home. Come on, man. Come on. And here's the other thing. They're mad because, in 2020, when there was the widespread Black Lives Matter protests that were happening, decrying police brutality and racism, Brittany Griner said that the national anthem shouldn't be played during games. And she refused to be on the floor when the national anthem played. They mad about that. She's disrespecting the anthem, disrespecting the flag. Now, she said she didn't mean it as disrespect to her country. Her dad served in Vietnam and was a police officer for 30 years. Sound like she's anti-police? Sound like she's anti-military? She said she wanted to be a cop before basketball, that she loves her country, has pride in her country. But yet, she wanted to protest police brutality, the extrajudicial murder of black people, injustice in this nation. And because of that, they pegged her as anti-American, not worthy to be brought home from Russia. Not worthy. Bunch of hypocrites. Straight up. Bunch of hypocrites. Tiffany, you're in the Twitter space. Holler at me. Tiffany going once. Come through, Tiff. Your mic is muted, Tiffany. 413-736-2781. All right, Tiffany, you coming through yet? All right, I'm going to have to let Tiffany go, unfortunately. Hit me back when you get your audio back right. Let me get HB up in here. HB? You got the microphone. Unmute your mic.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bishop. Good morning, family. How's everyone doing?
We good, bro. How you?
I'm doing pretty well this morning.
Good.
I got three things I want to touch on. Brittany Griner, Amari Stoudemire, and Twitch. When it comes down to Brittany Griner, it's funny how all of a sudden these basketball players are starting to get into trouble with the media, all at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's no coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
America is playing with black people for some reason, and they doing it via basketball. And my thing about Brittany Griner, it's good that they got her out, but we still don't need to vote for Biden because of that. If they think that this is the pawn that they could use to get a vote out of us, they sadly mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
We got to stop dealing with these whites because they're going to keep playing these games. And how many generations can we go with them playing these games with us via media? Right now, we don't know what's going on with Amari Stoudemire. Whether he disciplined his daughter in any type of way. But white folk are so judgmental that they instantly calling him guilty.
Mm-hmm.
For what reason? I mean, we technically supposed to be innocent without proving guilty. Until proven guilty.
Right. Now, a couple things. I didn't read the story on Stoudemire. I'm a little salty with Stoudemire on his comments around Kyrie, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But I've got to read up on the accusations against him. But there's been a problem for years in terms of people being able to discipline their children. We now live in a day and an age where you can't whoop your kids. You can't discipline. You can't.
I spoke on that yesterday about not being able to whoop your kids, but police could discipline your children.
Right. When I came up,
give us an opportunity to fear anybody. We don't fear teachers. We don't fear police officers. We don't fear our own parents now.
Right. When I was coming up, my mother used to tell me, "I'm gonna whoop you now. I'm gonna go upside your head now, so the cops don't go upside your head later."
Yes.
And yet
they still going upside our head.
Absolutely. And our necks and our spines and everything.
It don't change, and the shit is actually getting ridiculous. Excuse me for cursing, but it is actually getting ridiculous that we continue to let this happen generation by generation. And so that lets me go to Twitch now, and I don't know this guy Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him in clips or whatnot, before this, and now I hear about his passing. The legacy that he's leaving behind is white children.
Mm-hmm.
She went, and it actually sucks, and it sucks for his family because these girls could go on to have children with white men, and they just disappeared altogether. At this point, we have to. This is a lost message. This is a lost message. We have to start a separation plan. Whether it be in America or wherever we choose to go, we got to stop dealing with the whites until we get ourselves together.
All right.
We're so broken, it's ridiculous.
Appreciate your input, bro. All right. He's saying separation is the answer. All of the ones who were against Brittany coming home, basically they're saying she doesn't deserve our sympathy. Now, the statement that really got me, there was a reporter, and I can't remember the reporter's name, but the reporter said this. She asked a question to the press secretary, to the president's press secretary. This is the question she had the nerve to ask, y'all. How come Russia got the better deal? Let that sink in for a minute. She said, how come Russia got the better deal? Now, she didn't elaborate on that, but you can interpret that as America got back a black woman, Russia got back a white man. Russia got the better deal. That's one way. That's one way you can interpret it. There's one way you can. I'm sure she would say, well, that's not what I meant. I'm sure that's what she would say. Somebody ought to help me and look it up and put it in the and put it in the comment section. Put the link in the comment section. She asked the question, and here's the thing. The press secretary is a black woman. So a white woman gonna ask a black woman, how come Russia got the better deal? Because America got back a black woman and Russia got a white man. Think about the caucasity. Think about the caucasity of that. And I mean, man, they have just been going ham, straight ham on talking about how bad of a deal America got by trading for a black woman. Now they're doing talk shows talking about they wonder if she'll respect the flag now. Now all of a sudden they're talking about, oh, America freed a merchant of death in exchange for somebody who doesn't love the country. Blah 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 blah. You know, they're disguising it and hiding it behind all of this fake patriotism, and that's what they do. They try to pass off their racism for patriotism, you know, and then they accuse us of playing the race card when we call it for what it really is. And we know what it really is. Let me get ODB. ODB, you're in the space. Unmute your mic. Good morning.
With you, Bishop. Good morning.
How you doing?
Good morning. Yeah, I appreciate the space. So I want to start off with precedent by saying I'm happy to have Brittany Griner home. I don't never want to see a Black American sitting in the cell in Russia. You know what I mean? So let me preface it by saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start with that, but then understand that who Victor Bout is. Victor Bout is an enemy of America just for the simple fact that he funded the guns for all the African wars that you see mostly in South Africa. You know what I mean? So that was an example of America trying to hide their own sins. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why Victor Bout Victor Bout was an international businessman. Only 5% of his businesses were guns. You know what I mean? 5% of this man's money came from gun trading, period. You know what I mean? Now, when we look at the trade between him and Brittany Griner, you know what I mean? I think it's a perfect time to look at the Biden administration and see how weak they are globally. You know what I mean? And how they don't have the necessary foundation of respect or anything like that to get the things done globally that we need done. You know what I mean? Because the trade was for the Marine. He wanted, from the media outlets I follow, he wanted the Marine and Brittany Griner both for Victor Bout. Putin turned that down. Then he wanted the Marine and for 1-for-1 for Victor Bout. He turned that down. And then he ended up getting Brittany Griner for Bout. You know what I mean? So when we look at it, we got to look at under the eyes and the pretense of this is a failed attempt for the Biden administration. That not only did you guys let Brittany Griner sit there for way longer than you needed to, because you could have just made the initial deal the deal that would have got her home.
What they were trying to do, they were trying to please everybody. They knew they were going to get this backlash if they only brought Brittany home. They knew they were going to be castigated and raked over the coals if they left Paul Whelan there. So their initial salvo of negotiation was to try to get both of them, even though they knew that wasn't realistic.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just you know what I mean? I'm a businessman, and I feel like one part of business is never negotiate from a position of non-leverage. You know what I mean? And that's what we've seen from this Biden administration, amongst and many other mishaps with the $55 billion that he gave to Africa for not reparations, but started it with this is my country's deepest sins, starting with that. I don't understand that part, but I just wanted to preface and give it some understanding. And then also with the fact of like who Victor Bout really was. This was just America hiding their dirty hands, you know what I mean, with this man, Victor Bout, you know what I mean? And also we have to look at the Biden administration and their global weakness that they necessarily have, you know what I mean? And then also, I want to say I love seeing a black, and then the Marine that they're talking about, all these white folks on, he's not an enemy, or he's not a friend of the United States.
Right.
When he comes home, he's coming home for espionage and giving up information. So y'all can stop there with all you guys is.
And the other thing is, they keep talking about, touting his service as a Marine. Dude was dishonorably discharged as a Marine before he was arrested for espionage.
Isn't he tied in with Snowden? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit. So I mean, yeah, but like I love, I love your platform. I love the fact that you bring your life to some of these situations. I just came up to give it, my view on it. You know what I mean? When we talk about Victor Bout, obviously a good deal made when you talk about an international billionaire. You know what I mean? For a woman that necessarily is not even a millionaire or doesn't have the same, global effect. You know what I'm saying? Brittany Griner is more of this. I think this is another example of the Democrats giving us, symbolism to the Black community and not necessarily giving us tangibles. You know what I mean? Because you're going to bring Brittany Griner home, but then in the slap in the face, Biden gives $55 billion when we all know most of us are under reparations. You know what I mean?
And let's not the 60 billion to the Ukraines, and the billions of dollars to resettle Afghan refugees, and then turned around and deported 30,000 Haitians in his first year.
But less Mexicans come in by the door. So let's not even get started on that. There's only 40 million of us that could have been cut our check, is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Tell me about it.
And I'm tired of the symbolism. We want real, tangible things. Anybody that isn't happy Brittany Griner comes home blatantly is racist. You know what I mean? And if you're Black, you're ignorant, not speaking on it. You know what I mean? Correctly. It was not a good deal, but I am happy to see a Black woman not in a Russian internment camp.
Thank you, brother. Mean? Thank you, brother. Thank you for your light. 413-736-2781. If you're in the 413, or well, really, if you're anywhere, and you want to call in, you can certainly call in to the program talking about the Brittany Griner situation. We're going to spend the last 15-20 minutes and we're going to segue over to Twitch, but let me get a couple of more people who are trying to get up in the Twitter space, trying to holler at us on this situation. Let's see if we can get Tiffany back in. Tiffany, let's give this another shot.
Yeah, sorry about that. My Twitter, whenever I'm in a space now, it's been acting up for the past few days. Like, you took me off. I mean, you put me in, and then I turned my mic on, but then I was speaking, but y'all couldn't hear me.
All right. we got you now, though. We got you.
Okay. But what I wanted to come on and say was, you pretty much already said it. Paul Whelan isn't somebody that we should be concerned about saving. He wasn't dishonorably discharged, but he had something similar. Out of the Marines. I forgot what they called it, but it's less, whatever he got convicted of is less severe than a dishonorable discharge, but it's close. So his charges were attempted larceny, dereliction, 3 specifications of dereliction of duty, making a false official statement, wrongful use of another social security number, and 10 specifications of making and uttering checks without having sufficient funds in his account for payment.
And now pause right there, because all of that you just named, and all of these folk are going on and on to the break of dawn about she broke the law, about her having some cannabis oil, and then they're vouching for this dude who you just read a laundry list of stuff he got convicted for.
Right. She was caught with less than a gram, by the way. And honestly, the only trouble she's ever been in was a domestic violence situation with her girlfriend many years ago. But she's been in counseling. She had mandatory counseling imposed on her, but she's also been in counseling since then. So he's not anyone to be bringing home. And again, he was caught with, so that's what it's called. It was called a bad conduct discharge, not dishonorably.
Okay.
Bad conduct.
Gotcha.
But yeah. So,
either way, they put him out.
Exactly. So he wasn't, and he was caught over there with a drive with information on that he shouldn't have been caught with. So he ain't nobody to be bringing home. And I don't like the fact that CNN, these major news outlets who have been frustrating me to no end, have been putting his family on TV, and they failing to mention this man's charges. Like, this man using other people's social security numbers, writing bad checks. There are Black people in jail in this country,
right,
prison in this country for these same charges.
Right.
I just don't like, and let's just call it what it is. Y'all mad that a white man got swapped for a black woman.
That's
Let's
it.
Call it what it is.
That's it.
That's all it is, flat out. And also, too, the arms dealer, he was sentenced because he got caught selling guns to people that wanted to kill, had plot to kill DEA agents, and then he ended up selling the guns to undercover DEA agents. First of all, the DEA has been another law enforcement agency in this country that has completely damaged, run roughshod over black neighborhoods. So fuck the DEA, excuse my language. But I don't care. I don't care about that. So in short, just call it what it is. Y'all mad that a white man got switched for a black woman, and y'all don't want no black woman coming. Y'all don't want no black woman to ever appear to be as valuable or more valuable than a white man.
Bam.
Thank you for allowing me to speak.
All right. Appreciate you, Tiffany. Glad we got you up. 413-736-2781. Oh, y'all on fire today. Let me see. LVZ. Let me get you in here. Good morning.
Good morning, Bishop Swan. How you doing?
I'm good. How you?
I'm good, sir. It's LVZ out of DC. I just wanted to chime in because I did a YouTube video concerning the same thing because I saw a lot of black people talking about we got a bad deal. First of all, let me say something to the ignorant Negroes who may be listening. There is no we just because it's called the U.S. When they mean us, they just mean white people.
All right.
Now, people keep talking about Victor Bout. Oh, he was a big arms dealer. If you think Russia only had one arms dealer, then you're sadly mistaken, my friend. And to the sister's point, if he was selling guns to the DEA, they were already setting him up. They already knew who he was. That basically what we got, Bishop, is a bunch of tap shoe wearing, butter biscuit eating buck dancers who want white zaddy to come home, and they mad that a black woman came home. Look, people talking about, hey, she had cannabis or she broke the law. You know you can buy weed in Russia, right?
Right. And you can buy it around the corner here in the U.S.
Exactly. So for you to sit here and criticize, look, half of them got a joint in their mouth talking about, why she smoke bringing that weed over there? Look here. Ain't nobody got time for all of this foolishness. We need to stay on code. Look, I'm not going to say it was a bad deal because I'm not one of them people who really worry about Russian arms dealers. I know whatever arms he's selling, they gonna end up two places: in the hands of a white school shooter, or on a damn truck somewhere going to some Afghanis who going after some other soldiers. So, man, thank you, Bishop Swan, for giving me the time. And people, take the tap shoes off. And I land.
All right. Thank you, brother. Man. Let me do one more. Then I want to talk a little bit about Twitch and the rise in suicides among black men. Let me bring Lieutenant Benjamin. Lieutenant Benjamin, you in the space.
Hey, Bishop, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, hey, the first thing I want to say is I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas, you and your family. You are in my prayers. I appreciate you. I appreciate your ministry.
Thank you, sir.
So I hope you never stop preaching here and in heaven. Okay. The second thing I want to say was Brittany Griner is worth 1,000 merchants of death. All right. More than 1,000. So, anybody that has a problem with that, you need to bring it to the Almighty. All right. She's worth more than 1,000 merchants of death. Third thing I want to say was if you need prayer for anything, I just want you to know that, I'm here to pray for you. God answers prayer. I've been praying for a long time for Brittany Griner's release, and I wept. I wept when I found out. And, when she stepped down on U.S. soil, I just tears of joy, And last thing I want to say was, hey, 40 acres and a mule, all right? We reached out under the mattress like 2 years ago to cut COVID checks for white America. But it's been how many years?
Talk about
40
it.
acres and a mule?
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it. They found trillions of dollars under a mattress.
I know. You mean you can't tell me you can't get 40 acres and a mule?
Yeah.
For people that suffered under plantation slavery?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Have a wonderful holiday.
You too. Merry Christmas.
All right.
All right.
Oh, man. And I hope all of you all have a great holiday season, whether you celebrate it or not. A season where you spend with your family and friends and all that stuff. Hope you enjoy and hope you're safe out there as well. And if you're in the 413, tell me where I can get some eggnog, because I can't find none, man. I went in Stop and Shop. I went in Save a Lot. Why brother can't find no eggnog? Anyway, that's my own problem. 413-736-2781. Because next time I'm with you guys, it'll be the day after Christmas. Well, no, I'll be back with you on Friday this week on the Black Love Experience. And then the next Monday show will be the day after Christmas. So Twitch, many people are still shocked by the death of Twitch. The DJ for Ellen DeGeneres for her show for about a decade on Wednesday took his own life. Now the Centers for Disease Control says that men are nearly 4 times more likely to die by suicide, and Black men are the fastest growing group of men to die by suicide. For 8 years, Stephen Boss, or Twitch, entertained millions of people on the Ellen Show, but he died by suicide at only 40 years old. He rose to fame when he was competing on So You Think You Can Dance. Was the runner-up on that show. Wound up on Ellen and doing a lot of things, entertaining a lot of people. And, his death is devastating. And, it goes to just remind us that regardless of the smile that you see on someone's face, it doesn't necessarily mean that the smile you see on the outside is actually what they're feeling on the inside. Let me play a little bit of this song because this, my son Talbert, and you can get his music, T Swan music, anywhere you stream music. In this song, the first verse of this song called Made Me, he talks about his best friend who took his own life, who committed suicide. I believe he was 17 at the time. So, no, might have been 19. No, actually he was 17. And he processes through this, and we had to be there for my son when his best friend committed suicide. I had a fraternity brother during the pandemic who called, and my heart still goes out to Brother Lamont Solomon, who came home to find that his 14-year-old son had took his own life. So the rise in black men and boys taking their own lives is proliferating in this nation. Let me play a little bit of this song, "Made Me," and listen carefully to that first verse where he talks about his friend taking his own life.
This one is for all the brothers that passed, but more particularly one because it affected me drastically. I remember my sister gave me the call and I was in awe. Matter of fact, it felt the farthest from reality. She seen somebody post RIP with his name, and I said I doubt it's the same friend I had since the 7th grade. She said I'ma call his sister and double check, and called me back, said he hanged himself in his room and had been there for days. Initially it didn't hit me, then it clicked, and I remembered that I hadn't seen or heard from the homie all week. Wish he had told me what had him feeling lonely and weak. I guess everybody got demons we don't even speak of, cause I was with him exactly a week before the call. Just under 20, he couldn't even purchase alcohol. My best friend for like 6 or 7 years. I'm not ashamed to say I shedded plenty tears, but it was hard. He was somebody I had plenty memories with. The first person I ever burned any trees with. The worst feeling is knowing that you would leave us in all this grievance without a reason. You're not the first people to ever believe in me. When it came down to it, you knew you could call me if you needed me. Cause that information I wouldn't have ever imagined. It's sad thinking about it. I ain't happy that it happened, but it made me. There was plenty times when I thought that it would drive me crazy. But looking back on it, now I see all the time that it gave me. I learned more about why I am who I am on the daily. I know it may sound crazy, but I'm glad that it made me.
All right, the second verse is about me. I'm not going to dwell on that one because it was important to hear what he was saying in the first verse of that song, in terms of processing the death of his best friend. And more and more and more, we see black men and boys that are going through this and experiencing this. Now, according to the CDC, in a nutshell, men just don't have the support, the encouragement, the skills to develop intimate relationships where they can be real and where they can be vulnerable, where they can actually process what they're feeling, what they're going through, where they can share with people and get help and deal with the emotional turmoil. And there was recent studies that also show that black men in particular are dying by suicide at a higher rate than any other racial group of men. This is what you all need to understand. They are dying by suicide at a higher rate than any other racial group of men. And the experts say that issues of oppression, systemic racism, and generational trauma only compound the pressure that most men say they feel. So when you hear a brother talking about the pressure of the job, the pressure of bills, the pressure of relationships, the pressure of this and that and things that they go through in life, we're not even thinking about oppression, systemic racism, and generational trauma that only compounds all of that pressure. And when some can't cope anymore, the only way out of the pain they see is by taking their own lives. Sometimes there's warning signs, sometimes there's not. I listened to the lyrics of my son's song, and he says, I wish you had told me what had you feeling lonely and weak. Basically saying he was his best friend. He couldn't see the signs. He couldn't tell the pain that he was in that caused him to take his own life. And so our prayers go out to the family of Stephen Twitch Boss, and to so many other families that have had to deal with the trauma of losing a loved one through suicide. Remember the young man here in our city who took his life because he was being bullied in school, and thought the only way out was to take his own life. A lot of the triggers that young men and boys feel can lead to feelings of shame, doubt, self-loathing, and if they're not addressed, they may think that the only way to heal the pain is by self-harming or suicide. Let's pay attention to our loved ones. Let's support and love one another. And I'm not saying he or these others didn't have support and love, but let's support more. Let's love more. Let's talk more. Let's find out what's happening. Let's provide spaces that feel safe, that allows people to talk without being judgmental about them. Let's let them delve deep. Suicide is the third leading cause of death for Black men ages 15 to 24. Third leading cause of death. And we as a community, we have got to be the ones who help to stem the tide of suicide among our own loved ones. I got to get out your way because I'm out of time. Maybe we can continue this conversation on our Friday program. Tune in to the Black Love Experience on this Friday at 9:00 a.m. We'll be back with you then. If you're looking for a place to worship, check us out at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ, 35 Alden Street, Springfield, Massachusetts, 11:00 a.m. every Sunday morning, prayer, praise, and preaching. This Sunday, it will be at 10 a.m. Yes, we got church on Christmas. It's Jesus's birthday. You might as well come to his house and drop off a present. So we'll have our service a little earlier on this week at 10 a.m. And then on Watch Night on the 31st, 10 p.m., we'll have our Watch Night service, and we'll start the new year out in church on New Year's Day at 11:00 a.m. for our morning worship celebration. I got to go. I'm out of here. Always a pleasure being with you. Until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, God loves you, and so do I. Deuces. Deuces Instagram. I'm going to holler at y'all later, all right? Y'all be good. Peace. Oh, come on, man.